Hey guys, welcome to the channel. We are taking a look at the Poulan 2150, the green one. This one, not the Predator, the one that we did before. This saw I'm taking some little extra steps and trying to learn the numbers and some port work, things like, that go into port work that I don't know. I mean, full disclosure, this will only be the second saw that I've done any sort of port work on, any kind of porting and polishing. Well, obviously, I'm going to build a different pipe for it, which that's kind of seems pretty simple in the scheme of it. But sort of making this video for myself to come back to. If I pursue this farther and we end up porting a lot of saws over time, then I want to come back and see how, like the first one I was really trying to take my time on and stuff went, to see where I am now and to where I'll be at some point in the future, This is not a tutorial. It's nothing like that, really. All I'm really doing is just letting you guys know what I'm doing with this saw right now before I assemble it. So the OEM or stock jug cylinder piston kind of looked like it had a little bit of light scoring and this little bit of a scratch in there. I mean, I can't really feel it with my fingernail, and I was like, you know what, let's just buy some cheap Amazon one and let's fart around with that. So that's what I did. I spent like 30 bucks before tax and shipping. Found this, it's like Mard Pair. I'll have it linked in the description. You guys can go in the description of the video through Amazon. If you want to buy one and do this, by all means buy it, but you might want to go through the series first and see if it even works. Or actually, you know what? Before the video's over, we'll get this assembled and we'll fire it up and see if it runs. So if you want to buy that top end for this saw, you can. All right, we'll know if it works or not. In that kit, though, you spend like $29.33 before tax and shipping at the moment. You get the jug, you get a new cylinder, new wrist pin. You even get some new bearings, seals, spark plug, which I don't care, I probably won't run theirs, and some new gaskets for when you put it all together. Now, got myself one of these fancy little tools, because like I said, I kind of want to get into port work a bit more. It's just learning how to do the numbers, and there are some really awesome YouTubers on here who port saws for a living and have shared that stuff, and I didn't take notes when I watched the videos, and I really should have. So honestly, I just did some numbers for myself. When I pulled the jug out, I was like, geez, this looks exact, which is a plus. Now, I had to do a little research. I wanted this particular kit off Amazon for, call it 30 bucks, because I got new bearings and seals and a bunch of extras. Other ones were costing around $20, and it was just the cylinder and the piston. You didn't get anything else with it. And I was like, well, I want all the other stuff for 10 bucks more, right? So when you look at this one online, it doesn't say Poulan 2150. It doesn't even say it fits it. But if you find another one that says it does fit 2150, it also fits like a 2175 or 750, and this fits that as well. So anyway, I was mix and matching numbers for different models and found that this would fit here and there, and cross my fingers and hope it would fit, the model we're messing around with today, the Poulan 2150. So got it in, pulled it out. Bolt pattern, threads on this all match OEM, so that lower end fits. All your internals pop right in the new cylinder. This all, like the deck, the lower here, all this measures out the same. The exhaust measurements I did real quick. I didn't write them down, though. I should have. I was just comparing them by eye. The intake on the new one was a little bit smaller, and I believe it was the exhaust port was a little bit bigger on the new one. So the intake was a little smaller, the exhaust port was a little bit bigger, something like that. Maybe we'll run numbers on it and see. The actual pistons, though, are two completely different sizes. Like, visibly you can see the OEM is smaller than the new one. So I thought that was kind of interesting. The wrist pin is bigger for the new one, a little bit longer, a little bit girthier. The bearing that goes in there, though, is same size. So it's seems kind of odd. The wrist pin that goes in there is a little bit wider, so it fits in the new one. It still fits in the original bearing though, so we're just gonna run that. I'm not even gonna take that out of that rod there. We'll just leave it. The cylinder itself, I'll bring you guys over here so you can see. Now, I fully understand you guys are watching this going like, I'm not going to do this with a Poulan. Why didn't you do this with a nice saw? Because this is practice. I'm practicing with cheap stuff before I go doing this on steel stuff. Why? Because that's just how I am. That's what I want to do. So hopefully we'll have some videos like this with steel products in the future. Now I got to remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, the jugs here. So when I'm looking inside, new, old, OEM, your impulse line, impulse area is this hole here, right? Look how much smaller the new one is compared to the old one. We don't even have to measure it. See that difference? Looks like a huge difference to me. I mean, that looks like a really big difference to me. So I think I want to drill it out, but I don't want to do anything right away. I want to assemble this as is, with parts just like it is, and see what we come up with, and then we'll tear it down and do some work on it. Here's the exhaust ports on it. Everything else, I mean, the casting on the original is pretty rough. The casting on this is actually a lot cleaner. It's kind of funny. But when you come down, let's spin these around, so new, old. When you spin these around and you look at the, so your impulse line would have been here. You follow that through to the other side, there's a nice deep groove on this one, on the OEM. It's a nice deep groove right there. Like I said, I'm new to this. I'm kind of wondering how much of a difference this is going to make. This one's a lot more shallow. Really, really shallow. A lot of space. I thought that was kind of interesting. The looking at the transfers are wide open, right? So that's why the piston's the way it is. Skirt goes all the way around, but the transfers are different as well in the older one or the original. You can see it steps down on the bottom of that transfer. Like there's a step down there. And when you look at the new one, there's no step. Let's get this light right. There's no step down in there. So we're going to put the OEM on, or the new one on as is. Run it and just kind of see how it feels, see how it sounds. There's not a whole lot of testing I can do other than like try to check RPMs and stuff and just see how it cuts. After that, we're going to pull the saw back apart, which I might just do off video because I already have a disassembly video of this. And then I will definitely have a video doing the work that I plan to do here. I want to work on the intake. I want to widen up the exhaust port on this. I am going to possibly drill out the impulse area and make that closer to this one. And I want to see about making the impulse area on the inside deeper to match the OEM one. And then we're going to start seeing about those transfers and see, you know, what I might be able to do with those. This is just having some fun with this, you know, just kind of going for it. Gonna see what happens. Had a lot of fun working on that Poulan Predator 2150. You know, I don't think I got a ton of power gains out of it. Just did like barely removed any material and then polished the exhaust port, roughed up the intake, and then we built basically a straight pipe for that. But that was fun. It's been a fun saw to play with. A lot of people like seeing videos with it cutting. But I think this, I don't even know what to think of this. I don't know, just being honest, being transparent. I don't know what we'll be able to get out of this little saw, out of this top end. And if she dies, she dies, you know, no big deal. I'm working on these Poulans because I got them for free. So like the most money I have invested is like a jug and a carburetor, which, yeah, puts it up over free. But you know what? It's all right. All for the sake of learning and trial and error stuff. I'm willing to do that. So that's where I'm at. I am going to probably just put you guys in high speed and get this saw back together. I will have to let it sit 24 hours before I run it, but you guys won't do that because we're going to run it in the same video with this new top end, with the new cylinder and piston and everything, okay? So stick around, don't go anywhere. Give me a thumbs up, hit subscribe if you're still here, and let's run this saw in just a couple minutes. Stand by. Alright guys, so recently put a new cylinder and piston in this. A little bit different than the original, but not by much. Haven't started it yet since doing the work, so primed it just now, full choke on. Let's see if she fires up. Choke off. Sounds like we're gonna have to make some adjustments on that carburetor, but it's nice to hear it pull over. I'm gonna grab a tool and fix it. All right. Let's see what she does. Alright, still playing around with this carburetor. I bought a brand new one, but I ended up cleaning up the OEM and putting it back on. So that could be our issue right now. Might have to put that other one on. At least she's running. Every time I want to have it idle. I think this cord's getting bad. Don't call it a Poulan for nothing. So this is primarily a carburetor thing at the moment, I think. We'll swap those carbs out. We'll see how she runs after that. Swapped out the carburetors, put a new one on here. I really think that was just the issue. So I already primed it. Let's see what we get. Maybe we'll full choke it here. Alright, seems like it's got a good idle, so that's a new cylinder, new piston put on. I'm gonna have to do this a few times. I like to kind of like heat treat that, right? Go through, warm it up a little bit, let it shut it off. We'll warm it up, we'll shut it off before we start doing any cutting. We'll get into cutting with this. Basically, it's gonna be like stock, and then we're gonna disassemble the saw again. I'm gonna do support work on that motor, and then we'll try it again, see how it cuts. And then we're going to end up probably doing a nice loud custom pipe for it as well. So if you guys are interested in that, give me a follow, give the video a like, leave me a comment, and thanks for watching.